All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Hopefully, you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Because I don't hear myself. Hold on a second. Is my mic? Okay, you can hear me? I don't know why I don't hear myself. Oh, I know why. Hold on a second. Okay, now I should be able to hear myself. There we go. So I wasn't sure if anyone was going to show up tonight, and here we are with Flying WV subscribing again at Tier 1. Thank you so much for the subscription, Flying WV. I appreciate the support for the stream. You also will get your channel points faster, and you will have access to the discounted channel point redemption for playing our games. And speaking of games, I'm going to be testing out a new one tonight. It's called Shopping Spree. Now, this used to be a six-player game, but since I added the Major League Farm Team game, which is a six-player game, I'm upping this one to seven games. Also, because I noticed that when I was looking at the free agent classes, um, they're not necessarily very deep. So each class will have like one or two really good players that are you definitely will want to add, and then it drops off pretty fast. I think a lot of it is a lot of the kind of good free agents are a little older too, and so uh, maybe already at or past. Well, definitely past their prime, but already kind of declining or maybe at the cliff. So we're going to test that today to see if seven is too many. Kind of as a control, we'll use the 2003 Mets again. I used that one for the Major League Farm Team game. That was a lot of fun. That was before Thanksgiving, so maybe we'll refresh our memories and go back through that. But I think going through the 2003 Mets again will be helpful to just kind of remind ourselves where the holes were on that team, and there are a lot of them. This is where I think a game like Shopping Spree might be helpful because you just get more players to plug more holes. If you want to play a game with a team where they're really close to kind of getting there, or just a few players away, then like Force for Trades or Peak Performers, where you get to bring the peak version of each player on their roster for five players. I think that's kind of like the way to go. But if you have a team like the 2003 Mets with a lot of holes, this is kind of the way to go. The other thing we'll start doing now that we're past the Thanksgiving holiday, is we'll start lining up our next batch of community games. I know we have some folks waiting to play various versions of the creator roster, um, and so we'll start. And I don't know if anyone wanted to play Force for Trades. I think we already had a couple recently, but I'm also thinking, by showing you guys the Major League Farm Team game and tonight the Shopping Street game, maybe that'll pique some interest there too. So as usual, let's go ahead and do the pack giveaway form. That way people can start entering right away. I don't know how many folks in the chat were able to pop in when I was streaming uh, Thursday and Friday. I decided to go on and do a no mic stream those nights just in case people needed affiliate drops. I know I made sure that I was collecting Yule log drops, but at the end of the day, I needed affiliate drops too. So I figured other people might be in the same boat. And by then my wife and kids were asleep in the hotel room, so I just kind of fired up the laptop, and I had stuff I needed to do anyway. Like I wanted to start filling in the leaderboard for some of the new categories we added, like the number of all stars for the team, and the best names and the top performances. So it's kind of fun to be able to do that while still giving people drops. And then last night I did a few pack rips, and we played the last licks game, which is where you try to guess the last high value card, diamond, perfect, or combinator that would be ripped. So the fun thing about that game is like you're in it till the very last pack because your card might get pulled, and so we just keep track of like who's in the hot seat, like who's in the front runner position, but that changes all the time. So it's kind of a fun game. It's very dynamic, and also gave me a chance to rip some packs finally and complete a bunch of missions. So that was good. But let's go ahead and get this pack giveaway form up here. I think the other thing is I got a notification that my new PC has shipped. So we're that much closer to having a stream that will no longer be laggy or buggy uh, or just in general cut out. So should be should be a whole new vibe once we get that. And I think also the pack ripping tends to really bog down my system. So hopefully with the new PC, we'll get to do more pack ripping too. All right, so here's the form. I'm basing it on the Major League Farm Team one. So we're gonna do some edits here. I keep writing shopping spree, but it's shopping spree. Perfect. Once you be our major to be our or we take over a MLB team and improve it by. Oh, that's awesome, Jeff the Jar. You're going to play Major League Farm Team at some point? That's great. Yeah, one of the best things about that is you really get to screw over another team. You basically get to like strip them for parts. I was very tempted when I was doing the 2003 Mets to just take the Yankees out of spite, which I still might do because I get to play these games for free. I mean, not that the channel points cost anything anyway, but I might do this again with the Yankees at some point. Which is exactly. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's what happened to the spiders. Oh, interesting. That's really great. That's really rewriting history. That's awesome, Jeff. I look forward to that. And yeah, anyone who has a redemption outstanding, please contact me on Discord now that we're back from Thanksgiving. I want to make sure we get those on the boards. Kayaking Santa, hey, we got to watch Kayaking Santa stream over the holiday too. That was awesome. Oh, Cy Young too. I didn't realize that. Oh, Jeff the Jar, you're just teaching me tons of stuff about this fighters team. You know, that's one of those teams you always hear so much about, but I really know nothing about. So if you do that, it will be a history class for me too. I look forward to that. The 62 Mets I know a lot about because when I became a Mets fan, I of course researched the history. I was a big reader of the baseball encyclopedia, so I was looking up all the players, and so I know quite a bit about that team. And of course, this year's White Sox team, we saw that unfold. But the Spiders team, I really don't know much about, so this will be a lot of fun. Adding any 7 free agents from the previous off season. Um, they can be added regardless of of contracts, salaries, etc. Since each free agent will already be on the team, we can send any player as compensation for for each free agent. Tonight we'll be using the 93 Mets. And it's the 2003. Oh, maybe I will use. Hold on, let me take a look. Let's take a quick peek at BREF, decide which Mets team to use. There are pros and cons for each. Since I am doing this as a control, let's go back and do the 93 Mets again. We will stick with the 93 Mets. That also means though a different free agent class. I've been looking at the 2002 free agent class. Let's also change the title slide. Let me do that first. I forgot that I had used the 93 Mets for the so it's free agent of 1992 to add to the 1993 Mets. All right. And then let's change the stream title too. We're adding 1992 free agents to the 1993. Okay, so the stream title should update. There it goes. All right, now let's make sure this form is right. Well, now I'm at a disadvantage because I have not looked at this 1992 free agent class at all from the 1992 free agent class. Okay, the other main thing to remember is to preserve the 1993 era, that the modifiers will be on. But because we're just moving players around the 1993 Major League pool of players, it shouldn't matter because no one's going to get nerfed because it's all the modifiers are based on the same player pool, if that makes sense. Again, for the pack giveaway, OOTP developments, your OOTP ID is case sensitive, so please make sure it's capitalized correctly. And we have the usual questions, except I forgot to add back in last time. Will this team make it to the playoffs? Is the first question. We had taken that out because I was using a form we used for Smiley Face Jane, who had picked the 52 Pirates, which is a pre-playoff team. It was just they went straight to the World Series in that era. So will this team make it to the playoffs? Will this team make it to the World Series? Will this team win the World Series? Will a player on this team win the Cy Young Award? Will players on this team win the MVP award? And again, pitchers cannot win the MVP the way we set up the league. How many regular season games will this team win? Will be the highest award generated by any of this team's players? What will be the regular season batting average? The person who leads the team in batting average, minimum 300 plate appearances. What will be the regular season ERA? The pitcher who leads the team in ERA, minimum 100 innings pitched. And what will be the regular season OPS of the player who leads the team in OPS? Now you'll see some of the names here: Eddie Murray, Sid Fernandez, Bobby Bonilla, Dwight Gooden. The team is not without parts, but this is definitely a well past his prime Dwight Gooden. I think in hindsight, we know a lot of the reasons why he dropped off so quickly. Eddie Murray is, I think, 37 at this point, definitely past his prime. Sid Fernandez was actually injured for part of the season, but he should sim well because the part of the season he did play, he had pretty good numbers. And Bobby Bonilla, all contract jokes aside, was actually like somewhat productive for this team. So it's not without um, parts, but as you'll see when we go through their roster, identifying what seven positions or players we want to grab, you'll see that there are a lot of holes in this team. Although we were pleasantly surprised, I was. We'll go over this again when we open the team in OOTP. Some of the players were not as bad as I thought, just based on their BREF profiles and what I remember from watching this team play. So it's not without hope. All right, so let me turn the form on. Now I know most of you want to wait till we add the players, which is totally fine. But if anyone's in the chat now that wants to submit and take off, you do not have to be present to win. I encourage people to do that who want as many people joining in and trying to win packs as possible. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. And again, it's 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. Good luck, everybody. I don't know if I mentioned this. I was able to give away 2 5-pack giveaways for the pack ripping game last night. That was a lot of fun. All right, let me get let's get BREF up here for the 93 Mets. We'll first look at their roster to refresh ourselves on what holes need filling. All right. Here are the 93 Mets. And I think the fun part is going through the 92 free agent class. That'll be a lot of fun. But you know, Eddie Murray, pretty good season. Could probably be upgraded. A 792 OPS is kind of low for a first baseman, but 27 bombs, 285 average. Not bad. Jeff Kent, a little bit of pop, 21 home runs, 765 OPS. Tim Bogar. Now, it turns out he actually has a pretty good defensive profile. So he could still be a defensive shortstop. Ideally, he'll be a defensive sub. He can play multiple positions and has good defense at all of them. But I'd rather have a shortstop with some pop here, which is not consistent for the era. So if we can't find it, that's probably not the end of the world. Now, Howard Johnson needs an upgrade at third base. 732 OPS isn't terrible, but 7 home runs, not great. Well off his 30-30 peak, right? He's got 7 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and half a season to work here. Vince Coleman, we need an upgrade in left field. 279 average doesn't sound bad, but 691 OPS. A 316 on base percentage for a leadoff hitter, not great. 38 steals sounds good, but 13 caught stealing takes the edge off of that. You don't want a 21 walk, 58 strikeout ratio from your leadoff hitter, so we definitely want to upgrade that. Ryan Thompson, another one. It turns out his profile's not terrible. Defensively, he's pretty good, but again, I'd rather have him coming off the bench as a defensive sub, or maybe as like a VL um, platoon guy. And then Bobby Bonilla, he can play, maybe not in right field if we can move him to third. If we can get a big bat in right, that can happen. Um, really, the other place where we not the upgrades is the pitching staff. Right, so good in 12 and 15. From a whip perspective, not terrible. Kanana definitely past his prime, even his second prime. Right, he was a fireballer early in his career. He was a crafty lefty late in his career, but the craftiness is kind of worn off here. Eric Hillman, his ERA sounds like he might be good, but he's terrible. His profile is pretty bad. The good thing is we get a healthy Saberhagen and a healthy Fernandez. That actually will help. So we really need 2 starting pitchers, but what we need a lot of help in is a bullpen. Across the board, the best whip we have in the bullpen is 1.253. Mike Maddox actually ended up playing very well in our 6-player sim where we did Major League Farm team. I don't know whether it was having more offensive support or whether it was like he's pitching in different leverage situations, but he had a bunch of saves and was very effective. But I would like to be able to replace a lot of these bullpen pieces here. And that's where having the 7 players is very helpful. We can fill a few lineup holes, a couple of rotation holes, and still have a couple pieces left over where we can really boost this bullpen. I would really like to have a closer who doesn't have a 1.789 whip and isn't giving up 11.4 hits per 9 and 1.5 home runs per 9. 5.20 ERA is not what you want from your closer. And that's just counting the runs charged to him. Think about how many runs he let score that he inherited too. That's a stat I'd like to see more often is kind of inherited runners scored. But we have the piece here in Mike Maddox. We know from another sim that he can be an effective closer. So that's also something to keep in mind. All right, then the next thing we need to do, of course, is look at the free agent class. So BREF has this great list. Right? These are all the free agents that were signed between 1992 and 1993. Now, what I found most helpful, because a lot of these free agents are older, like Dale Murphy at 37, you think, oh, Dale Murphy's available, but he's way past his prime. Not only is he older, but he had knee injuries after his MVP seasons that really kind of took away his productivity. So one thing I found helpful is to sort by age, and then within age, they're then sorted by. Well, actually, no. First, I sort by WAR 3, which is the WAR over the last 3 seasons, and then I sort by age. So now within age, they're now sorted by WAR 3. So in general, I'm looking at younger free agents because they still have their peak to come, might be more productive. Right. As an example, if you scroll further down, right, there are going to be some big names down here, like Ozzie Smith, who had a 13.8 WAR 3, which is a 13.8 total WAR over the last 3 seasons. But do you really want a 38-year-old Ozzie Smith? I mean, maybe we do. It wouldn't be, uh, beyond consideration. But you know, Blyleven at 42, not going to be great. Fisk at 45, not going to be great. So I think we're going to tend to start further down the age list here. And then within each age, we'll look towards like who had the best WAR 3. I wish it had a column for WAR next, which is what WAR do they have in the following season. Now the great thing about this class is we have a peak Greg Maddux. Right, the 2003 2002 class, when I thought we'd be doing the 2003 Mets, the 2002 free agent class also had a Greg Maddux, but it was a 37-year-old Maddux. Probably still worth grabbing for this terrible rotation, but the 2007 Maddux is a much better option, and we are definitely going to grab him. So let me open a notepad and I'm going to make note of these players. Shopping spree. Okay, so 1992 free agents. We want Greg Maddux, and we know he gets signed by he eventually will get signed by the Braves, right? So if you look at the top here, this is the team he goes to, the team they're coming from. So, I mean, we all know this, but in case you didn't know, he's going to the Braves from the Cubs. Right? So we're going to be rating the Braves for this player. So that's a no-brainer. Now Ruben Sierra, I'm going to put on the maybe list. We do need some outfield pop. He is still in his prime, but I'm wondering if there are going to be better choices down the road. But we will put Ruben Sierra, who goes to the A's, which I had actually forgotten about. I think of him as a Ranger. So, all right. So then within the 28-year-old group, and again, I should also look down here in case there was someone who was had a low WAR 3, but is poised to have a big WAR. But I don't see anyone here who feels that way. Now at the 28-year-old group, Junior DeBoa leaving the Mets, good riddance. Another example of a player that the Mets got post peak. We start getting into the positive WAR 3s here. Oh, was Riho in the 27-year-old group? I think he's still coming up, right? Yeah, we haven't passed him yet. Other Real Whalen, welcome in. Good seeing you. Kevin Elster leaving the Mets. Did he not sign that postseason? That's interesting. Uh, Pino Santiago is interesting at catcher, but I think he was already kind of okay. Now this is interesting. So we definitely want Bonds. This is skinny Bonds, but we still want Bonds. Craig Swindell's interesting. I don't remember actually if he was still effective after signing. Let's check out his stats in 1993. Yeah, 1.340 whip, 4.16 ERA. Yeah, no, I think now he does have a late career resurgence, mostly out of the pen, but he's definitely post his best seasons in Cleveland, so we'll pass on him. This is one of the benefits of having the omniscience of looking backwards through baseball reference. Oh, do I have to redo all my sorts now? I guess I do. That's a bummer. All right, next time we're going to open up a new window to do that because I don't want to have to redo this every time. I learned something new today. Uh, Oft traded and signed. I'll put phenom in air quotes because he never panned out, but Billy Bean, who went on to become the GM, Billy Bean, he was a Mets prospect, highly touted, never panned out. John Smiley. Now I know he has later career success, so let's check him out. How was he in 1993? Oh yeah, not good. 1.401 whip. I wonder if he's coming off an injury this season, or he gets injured this season, because he does bounce back to have some fairly productive seasons with decent rate statistics here. But we won't need him. The 29-year-old group. I am going to keep an eye out for Real Whalen, when we do see him. Actually, let's see where he might be. So 1993 would have been his 20. Was he a free agent that year? I don't think he was. It looked like he was still with Cincinnati. And if the 28-year-old season, yeah, I don't think he's available to us. If he were, I would have grabbed him. For that era, he was a really solid pitcher. Ah, no problem, Real Whalen. I'm always appreciative of any help. So Dave Martinez could be an interesting piece here. We know we do have 7 spots to play with. That's one of the real benefits of this game. Right, the downside is you're limited to who's available in the free agent pool. The upside is you have 7 spots. He has like a bit of an off season. He only hits 241 with a 678 OPS. Um, Only 6 steals, so I think we're not gonna grab him. Okay, so of the 28-year-old class, I think we're just gonna grab Bonds. Oh, Ellis Burks. How is he at that vintage? How is the 1993 Ellis Burks? He could be interesting. Now, These are White Sox stats, so they're not boosted by Coors Field. 275 average, 793 OPS, 17 home runs. I'm putting him on the maybe pile. Maybe pile from the White Sox. Joe Carter. Anytime Joe Carter's name is in the mix, I'm intrigued. Let's keep working down the list here. We're now in the 29-year-old class. And we start getting the positive WAR threes. Nelson Iliano might be an interesting utility piece, but let's look for a start. Oh, we got Mark McGuire. And let's not sleep on Stan Javier either, but 1993 Mark McGuire. That's got to be interesting. Well, now this is wild. I'm assuming he was hurt this year, but his rate stats are pretty interesting. He hit 333 with an 1193 OPS. He hit 9 bombs in 107 plate appearances. Now this poses a bit of an ethical dilemma because we'd really be taking advantage of the no injury setting here, playing him for a full season with these rates. So, look, he would be a no-brainer, but I'm going to put him in the maybe list for now, just because of that. We'd be really gaming the system there. Minerva, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. We are testing out a new game. Well, that's not a new game. I've played it many times before in OOTP, but it's new to the stream. It's called Shopping Spree, where you can add 7 free agents from the previous year's class to any team you want to play. So we're testing that out. I hope you had a good stream. I did not catch you tonight. I did see you in Boiled Eggs franchise hockey manager stream, but I did see you were streaming a game that I had never heard of. So I hope it went well. Uh, I have not heard of many games, so not surprising. Oh, we're playing each other in daily gold only. Good luck, Minerva. I'm trying to squeeze my way into PTCS with gold, adding it to my 2 irons, 2 bronzes, and 2 silvers. Um, but yeah, good luck. It's always fun when you run into someone you know in those tournaments. That's fun. Whalen, yes, if there's a Molitor involved, I will grab Paul Molitor. He's one of my favorite non-Met players from that era. But Mark McGuire is, I'm considering him, but we definitely be gaming the system if we grab him because we'd be taking advantage of what's, I'm assuming, an injury shortened season, but has great rate stats, and we'd be playing him for a full season with the injuries off. All right, so let's see. Systems are designed to be games, says Kayaking Santa. That is a good point. All right, we're now getting into the age 30 free agents. Mackie Sasser, former Met. We don't want anything to do with him. Now, here we go. We're getting into kind of these are the peak free agents, right? So, Drebeck, Cone. Now, Bosser, I think, gets injured, so we'll take a look at him, but I don't think we're going to grab him. Um, how old is so Molitor was mentioned by Whalen. Let's see how old, where we're going to see him pop up. Guy, he's not left it. I'm going to do this thing where I sign 7 players to team because I can. Is it fair to choose a player that was injured? I kind of feel like it's an honor amongst thieves kind of thing. Okay. He's 36, but he is super productive still. So yeah, when we get to that point, I'm going to save a spot real well. And thank you for the heads up. We are definitely grab Molitor because, again, As a Stratomatic player, he was always one of my favorites. Always had really good strat cards. I mean, look at the seasons where he hits 300. Um, we'll definitely grab him. Now at this age, though, he's playing first base only. At least he's playing a position and not just DH. So one thing we need to look at is, I mean, he'll. So I know from experience that Murray is better VR. So worst case, we can add Molitor to be a VL, but he may just take over first base entirely. Poor Eddie Murray tends to get steamrolled because he's all right, but he's not great. Now, David Cohn, I would really enjoy bringing back to the Mets. Um, so let's see how his 93 is. And we know we need pitching. He was one of my favorite Mets to watch pitch. He had this like funky arm slots. He was always messing with his arm slots and uh, through that like sweeping slider that I think he called his Laredo. Just a fun pitcher to watch. 1993, 11 and 14 for the Royals. Kind of one of his higher whip seasons. He does come in with a 138 OPS ERA plus though. I wonder how much of this 11-4 is just a victim of Kansas City run support. So we are going to grab David Cohn. Now, Doug Drabeck, interesting. Long time. Well, I don't know if he was actually a long time. I just know I think of him as a pirate. Yeah, he was a pretty long time pirate. There he goes. He goes 9 and 18 with his new team, the Astros. Again, he has a 102 ERA plus. There's definitely something off there. He does bounce back the following season with a 1.075 whip, but we're going to pass on this 93 Drabeck. Now, Chris Blasio was good. He had a WAR 3 of 9.8, but I think he might be washed by then because I don't remember him lasting very long in the majors, at least as an effective pitcher. Oh, he puts in one last good year, goes 9 and 9 with a 1.199 WHIP and a 1.27 ERA plus. And all we care about is 1 year. So I'm putting him on the maybe list as a pitcher. So we'd be grabbing him from the Mariners. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't really do much for the Mariners. Even the year he goes 10 and 8, it's with a 1.647 WHIP. So it's not like he was pitching well. But yeah, I'm glad Real Whalen gave us the heads up on Molitor because I'm going to keep a slot open for him for sure. I am interested in Jose Guzman. Let's just take a look. Okay, the fact that his career ended in 94 is not a good sign. 93, he goes 12 and 10. Sounds good, but his ERA plus is a 91 and his whip is a 1.372. So we're going to stay away from him. Okay, let's move on to the 32-year-old class. Now, here you're going to start seeing a lot more positive WAR threes, but none of them actually peak. So it's a bunch of players who are like okay, but not great. Eric Davis. No, Eric Davis did have a post injury uh, phase where he was productive. So let's look at Eric Davis in case we're catching him on one of these. Because if I'm going to grab Mark Davis, we're going to go all in, and if I can get like uh a, a Eric Davis, oh no, this is not one of the good seasons. But I'm thinking about this season here in '96 where he hits 26 bombs, 917 OPS, and in '98 he hits 28 bombs with a 970 OPS for the Orioles. Those are the ones I thought maybe we could grab, but '93 is not a good one. Between the Dodgers and the Tigers, he hits 237 with a 734 OPS. Now, 20 home runs and 35 steals, though. That's not bad. And he can play left and center. I mean, maybe on the maybe list. And I think I'm only saying that because I was such a big Eric Davis fan. But it's going to be a stretch. That would be a big stretch. Okay, Joe Orsulak. I He actually ends up on the Mets, so we don't have to grab him anyway. Oh, Terry Steinbach is interesting. Is he still good at this point? Oh, he's an all-star, 285, 749 OPS. Why is he an all-star? These stats are not great. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not great. But he does re-sign with Oakland. I'll also put him on the maybe pile. Greg Gagne is interesting. I'm assuming he was good on defense in Stratomatic, so I'm assuming he'll be good on defense in OOTP. But his bat was very inconsistent. And that year he hit, no, that year he hit 280 with a 742 OPS, one of his higher OPSs. In fact, second highest of his career, 10 home runs. I don't like the 10 steals and 12 caught stealing. His on base percentage is pretty bad. He only had 33 walks, but our shortstop position is not great. So he is also worth a look. We may end up grabbing a couple of folks who signed with the Royals because David Cohn's on our list. Kevin Seitzer, I don't think we really need his profile, especially if we're going to have Molitor in the mix. So we'll shift now to the 32-year-old players. Now we need a bullpen piece, but Eichhorn is super splitty, and I think he's past his prime here. But we'll take a look at him. In '93, yeah, 13.49 WHIP. The area plus is still 160, but I'm going to pass on that. Is Tom Brunansky already washed by them? I mean, we're at age 32, so a lot of these players are going to be done. They're getting their last payday, and then they're going to drop off. Yeah, he hits 183 that season, so we don't need Tom Brunansky there. Uh, Harold Reynolds and Jimmy Key might be worth looking at. And 93, 252, 677 OPS. And he's not stealing bases anymore by then, so that makes him pretty much useless. But Jimmy Key might still be good. Now, I really liked grabbing 80s Blue Jays teams in Stratomatic because they had lots of great cards. 93 Jimmy Key goes 18-6 for the Yankees, 139 ERA plus, 1.107 WHIP, 4.02 strikeout per nine ratio, despite only having a 6.6 strikeouts per nine. Or yeah, so that's insane. So we'll definitely take Jimmy Key off the hands of the Yankees. Oh, wait, we don't need to go backwards. We just need to go here. Okay. All right. Let's go now to the 33-year-old group. Oh, Kirby Puckett. Heck yeah. Now let's see what he's got left at this age. I mean, what a fun major leaguer. I don't care what team you like. I don't know how you could not like Kirby Puckett. 1993. What does he do? He's an all-star right until he retires. 296, 824 OPS, 39 doubles, 22 bombs. Doesn't necessarily translate super well to OOTP because he doesn't walk and his power is like so-so, but we're gonna grab him just because I like Kirby Puckett and he's still good. So he re-signs with Minnesota, but he is a free agent this offseason, so we're gonna grab him. Um, Joe Carter. I mean, let's take a look. I'll never say no to looking at Joe Carter. There's another one mentioned by Waylon earlier, I think. Oh, and Raiders, there is a form pinned to the chat guessing how this team's going to do. You do not have to be present to win, so if you are going to take off, feel free to fill one out before you go. At least take a shot at it. 993 Joe Carter was an all star, although hits a pretty weak 254, does mention 802 OPS, 33 bombs, 121 RBI, lots of productivity, but not a great rate player here. So we'll park him in the maybe pile. Again, we have the benefit of 7 players here, so he could be kind of like a bat off the bench that we grab with our 6th or 7th pick. Now in the 34-year-old group, Mitch Webster, I always liked this utility outfielder, but at 34, I'm sure he's past his prime. Milt Thompson, left-handed bat in the outfield might be helpful. Now, what I'm curious about is these arms. Do Alejandro Pena and Bill Gullickson have anything left at this point? Because we do need some bullpen arms. Pena, oh, he misses 93. Okay, we're not going to take him. And Gullickson. Gullickson's done by 94, so that doesn't bode well. In 93, yeah, he's got a 14.44 whip and an 80 ERA plus, so we won't be grabbing him. This is what happens as you get into these higher age ranges. You're going to have a lot of players who are done. Trammell and Bob. Steve is interesting. Hanky, too, the Terminator. Love him. So let's take a look at all of them. Oh, that's such a bummer. Yeah, he's done by 93. 6.85 ERA. Oh, 6.04 ERA, 18.36 whip. That's just sad. Man, what a bummer. Trammell and Boggs could be interesting if they're not washed. We do need a shortstop, so Trammell would be nice if he's good. 1993, he hits. Ooh, Marlon Trammell hits 329 with an 885 OPS. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll take that. what a find there. I guess he re-signs with the Tigers, so we'll be grabbing him from the Tigers. And Boggs. Now we do want to upgrade from Howard Johnson, so Boggs in 93 still hits 302. The 740 OPS isn't great. I mean, his doubles are way down. He's still getting the 644 plate appearances. It's still a pretty full season, but he's a guy who used to consistently hit 40 doubles. Not there. 302 is okay, but when you're not bringing much else, that's not awesome. The on base percentage is good though. I mean, it's not the 400s of his heyday, but it's still 378. And we do need an upgrade third base. So right now he's on the list. And we get to grab someone for the Yankees, which is a bonus. 363 slugging. Yes, you're not going to be looking at Wade Boggs for slugging, that's for sure. Yeah. But it's better than Howard Johnson, so I'll take it. And you know what? Alan Trammell's good 93 season also probably bumps Greg Gagne from consideration. All right, so I now have 7. So anyone else we add will have to bump someone, and we still haven't had Molitor yet. Howard Johnson was overrated, but he did have 2 or 3 seasons where he was actually productive. Oh, I want to look at Tom Henke. Tom Henke, a Stratomatic favorite. I don't know that he had much left in '93 though. Real thing was Howard Johnson ever kind of implicated in all that? I know some of the Mets were. I never thought of his name coming up in that though. The 1.103 WHIP is still good. The 144 ERA plus is still good. Tom Henke is still good here. The walks are a bit up, but we do need bullpen pieces, so I am going to consider him. Not sure public, but in no one circles it was interesting. That would also explain a lot about his drop off too. Um. Okay, no one else there. Also, one thing I'm really glad about the Dickie Thon card that came out in OTP this year. It shows how good he was before he got injured. He was injured, and it completely derailed his offensive trajectory. I knew him as a light hitting shortstop, from when he played against the Mets. But here, well, let's just look at him. But before that, 20 home runs, 10 triples, and then he gets injured. I believe he was hit by a pitch and it messed up his eye. And then ever since then, he comes back and his OPS, he only clears 700 OPS once after that. Right. And so I remember mostly from the 86 Mets, 85 seasons, because as a Mets fan, like running into them in the NLCS. And by then, he's a pretty light hitting shortstop. And I'm glad that his PT25 card highlights how good he was offensively before he got hurt. Um, oh, and I said I wouldn't do this, but I clicked on a free agent here and I messed up my sorting. I have to sort by War 3 first, then by age. Okay. So most of these guys now are on their way to being done. So we're not gonna. Um, oh, here's Molitor. We are gonna take Molitor. Actually, though, He's going to be in this tier with Tom Hankey where I want to find a way to take him, but we have other positional needs that are maybe more pressing than first base. And then Whitaker, I'm assuming he had even less tread left than Trammell because I think he's older. So in 1993, oh, he hits 290 with an 861 OPS, aided by 78 walks against 46 strikeouts. Oh, now that makes it interesting. Hmm. I have some interesting choices to make here. Ozzie Smith, Andre Dawson. What does Ozzie do in 1993? Interesting. He's 288, but a 693 OPS. I mean, we'll look at him. Let's see what his defensive rating looks like, but taking a 38-year-old shortstop doesn't sound like something. Oh, and I did it again. I was supposed to look at him up in the other window, and I didn't do it. All right. Let's go all the way back down. We're in the late 30s now. There are some interesting names, but I think they're all kind of done. We know Tanana's done. We did grab Larry Anderson, I think. Was that what season was that though? In a different game, we did grab Larry Anderson, but I don't think it was a '93 Larry Anderson, was it? Oh, I think we grabbed him in Major League Farm Team, and he's pretty good. 1.216 WHIP, 137 ERA plus, but I don't think he's going to make our team. Gossage at 41 years old, Winfield at 41 years old. I mean, I kind of have to look though. I apologize for the time it's taking, but I have to look. I just got to look. By the way, Rich Gossage, who is eligible for the Phonics theme team, someone called him Rich Goosage, which is great because it's mixing up. Yeah, he was still pitching. Real Teddy-O. 93. Yeah, 1573 OPS. He's done. Let's look up Winfield. 271, 767 OPS. Still hits 21 home runs. Not nothing, but that 45 walks is not great. I mean, that's still pretty productive for a 41-year-old outfielder. And then Blyleven. Got a great card in perfect team right now. Look at this career. I mean, that body of work is pretty impressive. Oh, he doesn't even play in 93. Look at that. He's done. So he signs with the Twins, but doesn't do anything for them. Real Taya says, I remember him from the. I think you're still talking about Tanana, unless you're now talking about Blyleven, but still remember from the late 70s, he wasn't that young then. Charlie Huff. I do think Tanana's interesting because he had those two careers. He had a career as like a young fireballer, and then was able to reinvent himself as a pitcher. Um, I think he went from a thrower to a pitcher, right? Yeah, Huff pitched forever, and then I think wasn't he also a pitching coach at some point? Charlie Huff in 1993. Oh, he goes to the Marlins. Interesting. At 45 years old, logs a 1.336 WHIP and a 100 ERA plus. The Knuckle Whisperer, yes. All right, so here's what we've got in terms of our short lists. It's a pretty good short list considering. Now, I think Mark McGuire's got to go in this upper tier of maybes here. Oh, and you know, we didn't look at Ruben Sierra's stats in 93. Let's look at Ruben Sierra. Not like the sandwich. There we go. So in 93, he hits 223. Yeah, so we don't need to consider him. We're done with Ruben. Okay, so let's go back and look at the Mets roster again and remind ourselves what our needs are here. Third base, left field, center field's kind of a maybe. When you see Ryan Thompson's profile in the game, his glove is way better than I would have expected. So if we want a defensive center fielder, we can stick with him. But if you want to upgrade to Puckett, I wouldn't say no to that either. But definitely third base, left field. Shortstop again, Bogart's good defensively, but I'd like to upgrade there. But shortstop or third base, left field, definitely. So we actually don't. Oh yeah, so that increases the stock of Boggs, despite his low slugging. The fact that he plays third base, kind of a big deal. Left field means Barry Bonds is a definite, and Maddox is a definite. Now that actually means Kirby Puckett, depending on if we're okay with just a defensive center fielder, we might not grab Puckett. Well, let's look at pitching real quick and remind ourselves we definitely have two holes in the rotation. Tanana's not good and Hillman's terrible. So we definitely need two starters. Of these pitchers, Maddox is by far the best. Let's look at Key and Cone again. I think we actually still take both of them though, and bump someone to the pen. Maybe Sid Fernandez goes to the pen to boost the bullpen. So Real Teo says, okay, well, let's see if there's a better third baseman. Let's go back through this and let's see if there's a better third baseman. Nope, not there. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at this. In the 28-year-old class, nope. In the 29-year-old class, nope. In the 30-year-old class, Dave Magadan, but he's not good. He's not better than Boggs. And I say that because he's coming from the Mets. 31-year-old class. No, and he's not terrible. It's just that he's going to give you a similar batting average as that vintage Boggs without the walks, and he's kind of a stiff on defense. The 31. Now Kevin Seitzer's the other option there, but by then he might be playing first base. But we can look at Kevin Seitzer. I know he used to play third base, and he's not going to give you much more power either. Yeah, Greg Jeffries is coming up as a second baseman. He eventually moves to first base because he's kind of a dud in the field. Yeah, Seitzer hits 290. Now his slugging's a little better, but not much. And he also only plays. Oh, he plays a split season here between Oakland and Milwaukee. Combined, he hits 269. Not great. So not Seitzer. Yeah, I think he may have come up as a third base prospect, but at that time Howard Johnson was doing relatively well, so they moved him to second, and then they eventually moved him to first. But yeah, he probably still has third base ability. Was he in this free agent pool? Let's see how old Greg Jeffries was in 92. He was one of the triple G Gregs, like Greg Berhalter, Greg. All right, in 1993, he was 25. He hits 342 that year. Interesting, but he's playing first base. He does play a little second base. Right, so yeah, you can see he comes up playing third, 5-4, third and second, plays mostly second, and then Kansas City puts him at third. St. Louis moves him to first. And then I think he mostly plays first. Oh, and then he switched. I didn't realize he played left field later in his career. But yeah, if he's a free agent, that's a good stat line he put up. Was he in here? Let's do a control F on Jeffries. Nope. Nope. No Greg with a. Yeah, so he's not in the pool of eligible players. But I think one of the things we're seeing too, though, is right not being able to find a better third baseman. That's one of the limitations of shopping spree is you're limited to who's a free agent, and that's why you get 7 picks. Um, because there just might not be anything in that position. Now Boggs is better than nothing, so I'm not gonna complain. But you're right to ask if there's a better option. I just don't think there is. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Boggs is the best pick here. Now, Trammell at shortstop would be an offensive upgrade to Bogar. Molitor would be an offensive upgrade to Murray, but so would McGuire. I wonder if Puckett's the one we actually don't take. As much as I like him, defensively, he's probably not going to be better than here. Let me show you what we're talking about here with the Mets. Now the Mets have at center field Ryan Thompson, who's not good offensively, but I think it's Dave Gallagher they have on the bench who is actually very good defensively, and we can always start him. Maybe it was Thompson who was good defense. One of them is really good defensively. And so center field, shortstop, I don't mind not having the bat. Oh, Chico Walker, do you like his negative -0.5 WAR? Is that what you're reacting to, Tedio? Um, so, and the other thing is Bogar. Bogar, a bit of a hole in the lineup, hitting 244, but he's actually a pretty good defensive profile in the game. Um, you know what we'll do? We don't have to decide now. Let's go into the game. We have our short list. Let's take a look, and you'll kind of see what I mean about some of these Mets. Oh, but before we do, let's see. I wonder which of my teams Minerva was talking about. That I have two teams in that gold only. Well, they're both out now, so I guess it doesn't matter. I was gonna see if we could go check in on that tournament and see how we're doing. Wow, it's pretty early to be knocked out. There, it's only been going for an hour and a half, so I must have gotten knocked out in the first round. Tony Fernandez actually does end up playing a bit, but his bat that season was pretty bad. Now, the good thing is, it says here he hit 225 for the Mets, but we get the combined Tony Fernandez who hits better than that. He does get on base, and he's still pretty good defensively in that vintage. Oh, yeah, Minerva swept me in the first round. I'm gonna have to tweak this gold only line because I lost both games. Uh, both teams lost in the first round. So I'm gonna have to tweak this team if I'm gonna try to now with the gold live. I've actually done really well, so I still have a chance of getting into PTCS on that. But let's jump into the base game, and we can look at Tony Fernandez. We can look at Ryan Thompson, and we look at Tim Bogar. And again, anytime I play one of these games, it's unofficial. I do this so that you guys can see what it's about in case you want to play. So we're going to do a new game, a new historical game in 1993. We do not need to import the entire history. Oh, this is already set from the last time we did this in 1993. We're not importing the minor leagues. We're not doing expansion. Oh yeah, uh, Tedio, I don't even worry about winning for PTCS. I just like trying to make PTCS. So far, every PTS cycle where I've had six teams, all six have made it in. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's been hard with the combinators. I've been doing it mostly with live tournaments, which is I feel like that's an accomplishment. To do it with live, I feel like shows that I still know how to make rosters and do sliders. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. This is shopping spree. we'll call it shopping 1993 Mets. And need to be in commissioner mode, cannot be fired. Wow, Taylor, I didn't realize this is the first year you haven't won one. That's awesome. How many PTSs have you won over the years? New York Mets. You've been so disinterested compared to the past year. How is that? If you don't mind my asking, is that because of the combinators or something else? All right, so let's look at our roster. Oh, life. Yes, that can that can happen too. All right. So also the other thing is we're not great at catcher, which is why I was kind of interested in Terry Steinbach. But so Tim Bogar, not a good batter, but look at this: 85 second base, 75 third base, 80 shortstop. I mean, this is also why we don't need Ozzie Smith. We've got Tim Bogar, which is a phrase I never thought I would say. But I mean, you look at this defensive profile. This is a solid defensive infielder. So that was something I was not expecting when I opened up the base game when we played uh, Major League Farm Team. Now Dave Gallagher is the center fielder off the bench who plays 80 center field, which we rarely see, and is capable of off chart 95 left field and 90 right field with training. And even our other center fielder Ryan Thompson is a 75 center fielder. So again, that's why I'm wondering if maybe we don't need Kirby Puckett either, um, because Dave Gallagher's bat is not great, but he's a 60 contact. He doesn't have power or eye, but with this defense, I actually don't mind that profile. So if we don't take Puckett, then we can take Molitor or McGuire to upgrade first base. No, this is 93, so there's no DH. Kirby Puckett in this season, I think is his 31-year-old. No, maybe older. He's in his 33-year-old season. He's not blind yet. He's still productive, but he only hits 302 this year. So now we can look at the Twins roster and we can see what his defense looks like. See, he's a 50 center fielder. So and actually his contact is only as good as Gallagher. So we're going to take Puckett off the list. All right, so now with Puckett off the list, now we can let's go back to my notepad file here. So with Puckett off the list, now we can move up Molitor or McGuire. Now, McGuire barely had 100 plate appearances, so I wasn't real keen on taking him. So I think that would lead me to take Molitor. I don't think Molitor can play third, but that's worth checking out, Teddy O. That's a good question. Now, this year, Molitor's on Toronto. Yeah, he's only playing first base and he doesn't play it well. But that BABIP in contact is great. And the eye is actually not as good as I thought it would be. Now I'm kind of wondering if I should be looking at. Oh, see, he's only a 60 power that year. So you know what it is? I bet the game nerfed him because of his low plate appearances. Because his real life stats were really good. Like in 93, from a rate perspective, he has 333 with 1193 OPS. But it looks like from a profile perspective, they nerfed him because of the low plate appearances. Because you can't hit 333 if you have 45 contact. Yeah, his ratings are not 333, 1193. His ratings are 251 and 803. So that helps make the decision easier. We're definitely going Molitor. So that's interesting that OOTP has done that. They nerfed his ratings based, I probably based on the low plate appearances and the low games played. Now, since we're talking about Boggs, let's check him out. Yeah, he's still got the contact, 70 contact, 60 BABIP, 70 avoid K, 60 I. And he's still playing a 73rd base. So we're definitely taking Boggs. He's a huge upgrade over Howard Johnson. Now let's check out Trammell in Detroit. Wow, he's still a 4-star at 35 years old. Yeah, 70 contact, 70 avoid K, 65 BABIP. Doesn't have much power I. The shortstop's not great. Actually, though, if we like Bogar's defensive profile. Oh, sorry. Bogar's defense is so good, and Trammell's down to being a 55. Um, I don't know that we take Trammell. And then if we don't take Trammell, then we can take Tom Hankey. I mean, Greg Gagne was the other shortstop in this class. Oh, yeah, sorry. He's no longer on the Twins. He goes to the Royals. He's playing a 65 shortstop, but it's mostly based on high infield error rating, not based on range or turn double play. So I wonder if we just start Bogar, have a stud defensive shortstop who can't hit, but then instead we grab, well, who's our second baseman? Oh, Jeff Kent, who's not great yet. Right? If you look at his batting ratings, his stat line is 265, 760 OPS. The 24 home runs is nice, but the 33 walks is not great. And he strikes out 113 times. And his defense is bad. What does Whitaker look like? Whitaker's at least fielding a 60, and his contact is 16. I is 75. So he'll be getting on base quite a bit. So I wonder, do we leave Trammell where he is, but take Whitaker to replace Kent, or maybe platoon? Do we platoon with Kent? What's how splitty is Kent? Kent is not that splitty actually. Is was there a lockout during switching? I don't know, Teddy. Oh, that's a good question. Oh, Jeff the Jar has been doing some research on the spiders and perfectos. Interesting. Jeff, do I owe you a point redemption? I was gonna look into all that stuff this weekend, but if I owe you a point redemption, you know what you can use it for. There was a 3 week lockout? That sounds like something. Well, 94 was the strike. So would the lockout have been the strike year or the year before the strike, 93? Before. Okay, so lockout in 93, then strike in 94. Okay, so Jeff the Jar, why don't you ping me in on the Discord and let me know when you want to do that low ball, the creator roster low ball, because I have plenty of openings this coming week coming off of the holiday. So that'll be fun to do that. Especially because people are fine tuning their approaches to low ball now. And we do have to pull 10 relief pitchers now every time you do a relief pitcher because they upgraded the relief pitcher creation engine. So for low ball, you need 10 pitchers before you can find a bad one. um, what was I going to look at? Oh, I was going to see how splitty Whitaker is. Wow, Whitaker's not even starting for this Tiger squad. It's Tony Phillips. Oh, Whitaker's a lot better against righties. So now, actually, he's probably still better versus lefties against than Kent. But okay, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do now is based on Bogart being so good in the field. Oh, actually, Bogart can play second or short. So who do we like better between Whitaker and Trammell offensively? Let's compare the two. Overall contact, Trammell's better. Gap power, Whitaker's better. Power, Trammell's slightly better. Whitaker's much better. So Trammell's 10 points of contact better, but Trammell's 25 points of eye better. Oh, defensively. Um, Trammell's a 55 at shortstop. Whitaker's a 60 at second base. Oh, actually, we could put Trammell at second base and play 60 as well. Okay. So no matter who we grab, Bogart's going to be the shortstop. It'd be Trammell or Whitaker at second base. And based on these profiles, I think I like the contact eye combination of Whitaker over the contact eye combination of Trammell. All right, so we'll take Trammell off and we'll move Whitaker up. Okay, so we're not upgrading center field or shortstop, but we're going defensive there. We're upgrading left field a ton by Barry Bonds over Vince Coleman. We're upgrading our rotation and bullpen with Maddox, Cone, and Key over. Let's go back and look at our rotation. All right, Tanana and Young are got now. Fernandez has good rate profile, but they may have nerfed him again because he was injured and had a shorter season too. So let's look at his pitching. They might have done the same thing they did to McGuire. No, they still have him with a pretty good profile. He's going to have a 212 opponent batting average, a 3.78 ERA. It's going to be a bit high because he gives up a ton of home runs. But it is reflective of his pretty good short season extrapolated over a full season. So they didn't nerf him the way they nerfed Nick McGuire. So Tanana and Young can be upgraded by Maddox and Cone and Key. That allows us to probably move Fernandez into the bullpen. But it would be nice to get a little more bullpen help, which is Tom Hankey. But to get Tom Hankey, who do I leave behind? I cannot take Molitor and go with Eddie Murray, but Molitor feels like a pretty big upgrade over Eddie Murray. Let's see. Let's look at Eddie Murray here. 55 contact, 60 power, 45 eye. And we compare that to, I mean, Molitor's going to blow him out of the water, I think. Because even at 36, he's like peak Molitor. Oh my goodness, 70 contact, almost as much home run power because Murray's power has gone down, and his eyes not great but better. And he can still steal at that age, 70 stealing. Although Murray kind of surprised me with the 55. I mean, I wouldn't be running with 55, but that's actually not terrible. They're both bad first basemen, though. Man, they're both bad. Okay, but if I want to get Tom Hankey on the team, I don't know. I'm okay with Maddox, Cone, and Key bumping Fernandez to the pen. And Mike Maddox has pitched better in other sims, right? Do we have Mike Maddox? I hope we still have Mike Maddox. I don't think I added him. I think we had him. Let's see. Yeah, we do have Mike Maddox. Yeah, 3.5 stars. He pitches well in the Sims. Yeah, look at this. That's a good profile. So we have Mike Maddox uh who will perform better. We'll have Sid Fernandez who will help for sure. Our starting pitching will be better, so we won't have to leverage the pen as much. I can't think of Boggs is so much better than Howard Johnson. I can't see not taking him. The only thing I guess would be like to not take Whitaker, let Kent play full time. We still get 24 bombs from, I mean, projected to get 24 bombs from Kent. And then Hankey becomes our closer with probably Fernandez and Maddox setting him up. You like Kent all day, every day? You like Kent starting instead of grabbing. I guess the question is, do we like Kent and Hankey more than Whitaker and okay, when I put it that way, Whitaker and anyone in this pen is not as good as Kent and Hankey. Hendon Hanky is probably better than, I don't know, pick your historic second baseman and anyone from this bullpen. Yeah, I think we got it. I don't think we can take Whitaker. I think we need bullpen help. The upgrade from Kent to Whitaker is nowhere near the upgrade of any of these bullpen bums to Hanky. So, I mean, look at these guys. They're terrible. Our closer is a 2-star with a 40 home run suppression and a 40 PBAP. And I mean, yeah, this bullpen is garbage. Mauro Gazzo is in this bullpen with a 40 stuff and a 45 PBAP. Okay, we have our final decisions. If this helps you with your uh, pack giveaway form, I hope it will. We're going to go with our 7 free agents we're going to grab: Greg Maddux, Barry Bonds, David Cohn, Jimmy Key, Paul Molitor, Tom Henke, and Wade Boggs. Now, they're already on teams because we're starting the 93 season, so we're going to have to basically trade for them. And we will essentially give up garbage for these players. All right, first up, let's get Greg Maddux from the Braves. And since the Braves are in our division, we're going to send them a total piece of crap in exchange. Well, wait, first let's set up the game. Let's set up the game. Uh, Scouting is off, coaching is off. Now, look, I'm going to show you here. Enable owner goals is off, but the owner is still going to bother us. It seems to be a bug in the game. Injuries are off, suspensions are off, player development is off. Expansion is off. Just a reminder, this is a 25-man era, 25-man roster era, not the 26 that we've become accustomed to. Trading is we're gonna turn trading off as soon as we make our deals. We have to remember to do that. Pitchers cannot win the MVP, and All-Star Game is not dependent on popularity. Players are not going to retire mid-season according to history. We're not going to automatically import historical rookies. And there was another one like that with free agents that I think I missed. Disable automatic creation free. Oh, that's already checked. Okay. That was why we didn't miss it. It was already checked. And we're going to leave auto calc and modifiers on to retain the flavor of the 93 season. We're going to update our mailbox real quick. We need some of these. We need some of these emails to get access to information we need during the season, and we'll keep from being interrupted. Okay, that's all done. Now we'll go get our players. Actually, now that we did that, let me run like a quick ad break. So I need some more water and stuff. So let me just do that real quick. So see y'all in a couple minutes. All right, I think we're back from the ad break. All right, so let's start grabbing these players now. So we do have to do them as trades because at this point they've already been signed. Okay, Tedio, thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate your input during all that. It was super helpful and fun. Hope you can fill out a form and guess how we do before you split. You will get your packs if you do win. So hope you have a little bit of time to enter before you take off. All right, awesome. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, so these are free agents in 1992, but by the time we start the game here in 1993, they've already signed. So we're gonna have to get them from the teams that signed them. All right, so we're grabbing Greg Maddox, and let's just see if they would have taken anything. No, there's nothing they would have taken from our team. Our best player is probably Bobby Bonilla. What if we had offered Bobby Bonilla? Oh, they would take Bobby Bonilla and Brett Saberhagen. Awesome. That's probably not even a good deal, even at that point for the Braves, because Maddox is so good at this point. But we're gonna give them what's the biggest piece of crap we could probably Mario Gazzo. Or oh man, I would love to see Anthony Young start on the Braves because he's so bad. This I think is a year Anthony Young goes 1-16 or something. Yes, he goes 1-16 for the Mets. Now, granted, his ERA is not that bad. A lot of it was bad Met run support from the Mets, but why don't we send Anthony Young to the Braves? That'll be fun. There's nothing they would take in addition to Anthony Young. Their GM says, I'll give you credit. You've got a great sense of humor. All right, well, we're going to force this trade. So we've got Greg Maddox. We've traded for an MVP. Okay, next up is Barry Bonds from the Giants. So he had just gone from the Pirates to the Giants, which is from the Mets' perspective, relief because he's no longer in the NL East. But we're gonna take him back. Is there anything we can offer you? No. What if we offer you Greg Maddox and someone else? Oh, Greg Maddox had one-to-one for Barry Bonds. The GM says, "Stop wasting my time." There's nothing we can add to Maddox that would make this deal work. Wow, wow. Okay, I mean I get it, but wow. Well, we're gonna give you washed up Vince Coleman because we don't need him. There's nothing about Vince Coleman that we need. Stop wasting my time, they say. There's nothing we can do to make this work. But we are going to force this trade. Okay. Next up is David Cone from the Royals. Love me some David Cone. One of my favorite Mets pitchers ever. Wow, he's only a 3-star? That wow. Well, we're still taking him. I like him. What does he do in 93? I mean, I know we looked at this, but he goes 11-4. Oh, 3.33 ERA. His ERA plus is 121, which is fine. He has a 1.26 whip, which is not great, but not bad. I mean, yeah, I like him. His strikeouts per nine are way down, but I don't know. Is there a better starter we could have taken? I don't think we had anyone else on our list. Chris Bosio, but yeah, I'm fine with taking Cone. We'll take Cone. Again, this is kind of what happens too with this game. These reason you get 7 picks, they're not all going to be great. Um, And we will give you crappy old Gazo. Well, actually, who else am I taking from? Is there anyone else I want to really nerf? There's no one else from the NL even, so yeah, we'll give up Gazo at this point. This is a no-go. Got a better offer. Oh, they would actually take a bunch of. They would take Jeremy Burnitz and Gazo for David Cohn. So yeah, they think David Cohn is kind of washed, but he's a big improvement for our pitching staff. So we'll force this trade. Okay, next up is Jimmy Key from the Yankees and Wade Boggs. Let's just go ahead and get them both at once. Wade Boggs is down to 3 stars at this point in his career. And we are going to offer them. Let's do it one at a time. It'd be more fun that way. For Jimmy Key, we'll give up. You know what? I don't mind putting Tanana in the pen, so we're going to keep Tanana. And maybe we'll give up Jeff Innes. Or maybe we'll give up Tanana and his 45 home run suppression. What actually? Okay, Franco, Hillman, and Gibson in the pen. And Fernandez is coming, so let's send Hillman or Gibson. They're both pretty bad. Wow, Hillman's a 3 star? Yikes. Maybe we do send them to Nana. With his 45 home run suppression, I don't think he's better than anyone in the pen. I mean, here's Tanana. The only one he's better. Oh, let's send John Franco. He's so bad. He's so bad. Let's send John Franco. Yeah. Let's get rid of Franco. Where is he? He's our closer. Make an offer worth their while and we'll listen. Otherwise, don't bother. Oh, they would take Burnitz and Franco for Jimmy Key. Wow. Wow. Well, we'll just go head straight up. Okay, next up from the Yankees is Boggs. And for Boggs, do we just go ahead and give him Howard Johnson? I think we do. Oh, there's a bunch of players they would take for Howard. Really? Oh, I wonder if they're trying to dump Boggs' salary because they would take Bobby Jones and Howard Johnson for Wade Boggs. What's his contract? Why don't I see his contract number here? But even though I'm in commissioner mode, I can ignore budget in commissioner mode, but I'm surprised that they're not even listing his contract here. That's weird. But I wonder if that's why they're trying to trade him to me. Because look at all these other pieces of garbage they take along with Howard Johnson. Does Howard Johnson have some secret value I'm unaware of? I mean, his eyes is 70. I guess that's good. But he's a 53rd baseman. He's a one position player. I'm almost tempted to throw in Bobby Jones just so I don't have to force a trade. But we'll force the trade anyway. All right. And then our last Oh no, we have two more. Paul Molitor and Tom Hankey. So from Toronto, Paul Molitor. Again, we're not getting many 5-star players, but we're getting a bunch of 4 and 3-star players, which is again why we get 7 of them instead of 4 or 5 or 6. Now, who do we give up? Do we actually give up Eddie Murray? And Ryan Thompson's not doing much for us other than being a defensive center fielder backup. I wonder though. I wonder if we don't have any. I wonder if we don't have another center fielder besides Gallagher. Oh yeah, we have a huge drop off in defense if we trade Ryan Thompson. I mean, I guess are we giving up Eddie Murray for Paul Molitor? That won't work for us. Got a better proposal. Yeah, they would take Burnitz and Murray. I can see giving up anyone else though. I mean, unless it's from our reserve. But then what am I keeping Murray for if he's just going to sit on the reserve? Now, if this is an NL trade partner, I would definitely give them like Chico Walker or somebody just to nerf them. But I mean, I guess it's just one. I guess it's just straight up Murray for Molitor. Okay, and our last traders are Tom Hankey, who's on the Rangers at this point. And we can give them any piece of garbage from our bullpen. Jeff McInnes is probably the biggest piece of garbage, although he has decent home run suppression. Is there anyone worse? Oh, Mike Draper with his 35 stuff. He has better home run suppression, so I don't know why Innes is 2 stars. He doesn't seem terrible. I mean, he's not good, but he doesn't seem terrible. All right, but I guess we'll do Innes. Definitely, maybe just a little bit more. Wow. They're either down on Hanky or way high on Innes. All right, well, this seems like a huge upgrade to me, so we're going to force it. All right, so all of our acquisitions have been complete. So in the 1992 free agent class, or free agent signing period, our 93 Mets signed Greg Maddux, Barry Bonds, David Cohn, Jimmy Key, Paul Molitor, Tom Hankey, and Wade Boggs with no impact to our budget. So let's see now what that does. We're going to do sabermetric. And we're going to do, let's set up our pitching staff first. Maddox, Saberhagen, Key, Gooden, Cone. Hankey's the closer. Sid Fernandez is in setup. Mike Maddox is in middle relief used more often. Paul Gibson's the left-handed specialist. Eric Hillman's in long relief. Okay, I like this. Sid Fernandez is the backup closer. I like having a left-right closer combo there. They don't do a stopper, which I'm not. I kind of like the stopper role, but I like this is decent the way they set this up. And I'm trying to if I were doing this the way I used to play it, I would set up the full bullpen the way I like, but we're going to let the AI run it because if anyone else plays, we're going to let the AI run it. All right, let's see what it does with the lineups. Now, our big acquisitions here is Molitor at first. That's a big upgrade. Boggs at third. A huge upgrade over Howard Johnson, despite the star rating difference. Better defensively, better offensively. Barry Bonds, a huge upgrade in left field over Vince Coleman. Dave Gallagher now will still be our starting center fielder. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, Jeff Kent is not starting. What's happening here? Bonilla is starting at third. What? What? Boggs is only starting when there's a DH. And Burnitz is starting in right field. What is happening here? I guess he has 60 power and 60 eye, but all right, see, anyone playing this game wouldn't be allowed to do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm starting versus lefties in particular. Well, let's see, Burnitz, what's his splittiness? Actually, he is lefties almost as well as he is righties. I'm surprised. Well, okay, we're just going to run it because I guess this is one of the risks you take is we signed a player that's not going to play. We signed Wade Boggs and he's not going to play. Burnitz is going to play right field. Now, Real Teddy missed it, but the AI is starting Tony Fernandez at short. Bogar's at second. I would actually prefer to flip that, but Tony Fernandez only plays one position this year. Bonds and Bonilla from their Pirates days reunited on the Mets. So essentially, I wasted one of my picks because I chose Boggs thinking he would start at third, Bonilla would be in right. But the AI likes Jeremy Burnitz more than Boggs, I guess. But Paul Molitor is a huge upgrade on leadoff and a big upgrade at first. I mean, I can't really argue with it. It's not bad. But part of why we got Boggs is he's still a 70 at third base, which is much better than Bonilla's. Oh, actually, Bonilla's a 65 at third base. That's surprising. I guess it's because he has a big arm at the 75. Okay, that makes more sense now. It likes Burnitz's bat more than Boggs's bat. All right, lesson learned. I mean, it's still a huge upgrade. So let's do this. We'll sim one day so we can go to the preseason predictions. These should be empty right now. Yeah. So we'll save this in case there's a mess up during the start of the season. We can recover, I think. And if we finish today, it'll generate the predictions up here, it'll say. Again, I think this team won 57 games in real life. 57 or 59? 59. Let's see how many we're predicted to win now. Greg Maddux alone should add a bunch of wins to the projection. Yeah, here's generating MLB season predictions. So this is where we'll get our preview. I apologize if it seemed tedious to watch, but I had a lot of fun picking these players and adding them to the team. Getting to shop the free agent list was actually pretty interesting. Because it's a limited set, but it's an interesting set. Okay, we're projected to win 107 games. Um, we're still not projected to score the most runs. That's still the Phillies. And we didn't take anyone from the Phillies. I don't think they had any real big free agents of note. Oh, we need to turn off trades, by the way. Let's do that. Now, let's make sure the Braves didn't trade trade yet, because I want to make sure they still have Anthony Young. Yeah, they still have Anthony Young in their rotation. Surprisingly, he's not last. He's ahead of Pete Smith. So they must not think highly of Pete Smith. All right. But yeah, 100 and what was it? 107 wins projected. So trading is off. Let's go back to okay. So we're projected to finish second in runs. By far, first in runs against 571. The closest is the Braves. Even after we took Maddox, they're still projected to only allow 626, but we're at 571. And we are now projected to be second in league in strikeouts, only behind the Astros. And the fewest walks, too, by a pretty good margin. Oh, no, no. The Cardinals will give up fewer walks, projected to give up fewer walks. But the NL East is going to be stacked. The Mets, Phillies, Expos all projected to win 90 games. In the West, only the Braves are projected to have 90 wins. Partly because we took Barry Bonds from San Francisco. Now, the NAL, we took two players from the Yankees, so they are now projected to finish with 80 wins. And we took Mahler for the Blue Jays, so that's really disrupted the AL East there. All right, well, I think we're ready to sim. Now, normally this is we take a 3 minute break so you can finish up your forms and I can get ready for the stream. I just got ready with that 2 minute break earlier, so let's just take a couple minutes here. This is your 2 minute warning to fill out your forms and submit those. I'll I'll close the forms when we get back from this break. All right, I think we're back from the ad break. I am ready to sim. It'll also help make sure we don't get interrupted during the sim. And that was your 2-minute warning to finish up your and submit your pack giveaway forms. So if anyone's still working on it and about to hit submit, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to close the form and we'll take a look at the guesses. All right, let's close the form. Got a pretty good response rate tonight, considering we had no one rating into us. Well, Minerva did rate in partway through, which is great. But most nights we have Ezra Denny rating us at the start of the stream, which helps us get off to a good start. But without that, this is surprising. We had 7 responses tonight. Some nights we have 3. So this is a pretty good response rate. We're gonna hide the Twitch IDs for now. And I'm just resizing the columns a little bit so you can see better, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here. All right, so here's what everyone's thinking. So will this team make it to the playoffs? Everybody thinks so. Will this team make it to the World Series? Wow, only 2 think this team's going to make it to the World Series. Projected to win 109 games, but 2 think it'll make the World Series. And no one thinks this team will win the World Series. Now that, it is still the Mets, so I don't blame you. Mets are going to Met. And if you don't think they're going to win the World Series, I can't blame you for that. Will play this team win the Cy Young Award? 3 yeses. I'm guessing most people have their money on Greg Maddux. Will play this team win the MVP? We also have 3 yeses, and it's the same 3 people. So there are optimists, although none of those 3 think they'll win the World Series. They do think we'll win the Cy Young and the MVP. Interesting. And then we'll save the numerical guesses for after the stream or the sim. All right. Well, let's go. Let's see if we can win a World Series and prove the naysayers wrong. And I know we saved, but we didn't save since we started the season, since we got the projections done. All right. Unlike 2023, we start in April, so we're going to get almost a full month here right off the bat. And we are 9-4, 12-5, 15-6. Wow. Okay. I was skeptical about Jerry Burnitz, but rookie of the month, Jeremy Burnitz. Player of the week, Jeremy Burnitz. A 10-game run streak by Bobby Bonilla. So let's see what this Burnitz kid is doing. He is hitting 277 with 4 doubles, 4 triples, and 3 home runs. Wow, pretty good. 884 OPS and .4 WAR. Actually, we probably could have gone to the. This is why I set up the mailbox this way, so we could go to New York Rookie Star Sparkles. Yeah, 17 RBI too in 83 at bats. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, the Mets are 17-6. You know what? We didn't take anyone away from the Expos, and they are 19-4 with the best record in the majors. But we have the 3rd best record in the majors behind just the Expos and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, without Paul Molitor, still 18-5. Let's see who they have at first base now without Molitor. Oh, they're starting Eddie Murray, of course. Eddie Murray is hitting 278 for them. with 5 home runs. Wow. Maybe we should have kept him. Jeez. Although we couldn't have carried two first basemen without a DH spot. There's no way. But man, he's bringing it. How is Molitor doing for us? Molitor is, let's go to batting stats. Well, Molitor's hitting 319, also with 5 home runs and a 991 OPS, so we can't complain about that deal. Gallagher with his stellar defense in center field is hitting 308, so that's a bonus. Small sample size, of course. Tim Bogart hitting 200. Bobby Bonilla, third base, hitting 296. Is Wade Boggs getting any at bats? Oh wait, he's starting versus on DH lineups. He's hitting 385 in a small sample size. All right. And batter war, we have Bobby Bonilla. Oh, how is Bonds doing? That's the other big question. Bonds is hitting 325, only 2 home runs though. 900 OPS. Uh, Probably because he's drawn 14 walks already. And on the pitching side, how are our acquisitions doing here? Cohen is 3-1. Gooden's still Gooden's original 2-2. Key is 3-0. Maddox is only 3-2 with a 3.89 ERA. He's getting hit pretty hard. But you know what? The simulation engine does not like pitchers like Craig Maddox. Still, I thought he would do better. Just like it doesn't like batters like Tony Gwynn. Okay, let's do another month. This is the month of May. We're still chasing the Expos. We're catching them. We're in first place now. Took a while, but we're there. Barry Bonds wins Batter of the Month. He's now hitting 315 with 10 home runs and a 989 OPS. That's enough to put him third in home runs, first in RBI. And let's see. Also, I was going to check on something, but then I can't remember what it was. Well, we're 34-16. We do have the best record in the majors, and we are 3 games ahead of the Expos now. We're on a 3-game winning streak, which helps. All right, let's sim the month of June. There's the owner annoying us, Swackhamer, Chris Swackhamer. I showed you earlier we had unchecked that box, but he's still bothering us. We're only okay. We're 3 games ahead again. 2 games ahead. 3 games ahead. 2 games ahead. 1.5 games ahead. 7-game RBI streak by Barry Bonds. A 10-game winning streak by Jimmy Key. And second consecutive on bases by Burnett and Bonilla. We're only a half game. Oh, now it's the Phillies who have come charging up in the second place, only a half game behind us. We do still have the best record in the majors. We're 2 wins ahead of the Blue Jays and 3 wins ahead of the Giants and the Twins. The Giants, 46-33, despite losing Barry Bonds. The pitching side, Greg Maddux has finally found his groove. He's got a 2.54 ERA, second in the league behind Steve Avery, his former teammate. And Jimmy Key tied for the league lead in wins. All right, let's into the All-Star break. Barry Bonds is the highest All Star vote getter. We are 2.5 games ahead with 1 game left to play before the All Star break. And we head into the break 3.5 games ahead of the Phillies, 5.5 games ahead of the Expos, and 2 wins ahead of the Twins for the best record in the majors. Let's look at the All Star voting and All Star voting. At first base, Molitor is second in votes, just under 2 million. At third base, Bobby Bonilla, just over 2 million votes, is second. Let's see. In left field, Barry Bonds leading all vote getters with 2.8 million votes. And that's it. Greg Maddux is the leading vote getter for pitchers at 1 million votes. And Sid Fernandez in our bullpen, third in votes with 657,000 votes. Now we had Greg Maddux is the only starter. Did anyone get snubbed? Well, Jimmy Key at 13-2 certainly got snubbed. Maddox is 9-5, but I'm sure the AI likes that 2.56 ERA. Jimmy Key, though, at 13-2, I hope he at least gets selected. Let's check out the All-Star selections. Maddox leads all vote getters, so starting pitching. But yeah, Jimmy Key does not get selected. Sid Fernandez is chosen out of the bullpen. Bobby Bonilla selected at third base. Bonds is voted in. And that's it. We only have 4 All-Stars. That seems pretty snubbish. Jimmy Kia, definitely a big snub there. And then in the batters, let's see. Mahler hitting 312 and leading the team in runs with 61, 11 home runs. He didn't get chosen. I guess those are the only real oversights. I wonder if this approach of defense over offense is not going to pay off. Going Gallagher, Tony Fernandez, Bogar, right? We didn't upgrade second or short because of that. And we took the Wade Boggs, who's not even starting. He is getting some at bats though. 114 plate appearances, 304 batting average. The AI doesn't always play its replacements that much, so it's good that he's getting that many at bats. Home run challenge. Let's see. What? We didn't get Bonds or wow. They didn't let any of our players in the home run challenge. Kevin Mitchell with 32 at the break. Mitchell advances. Matt Williams with 25 home runs advances 14-9. Sammy Sosa advances and Frank Thomas advances. Mitchell continues to advance, winning 14-9 again over Matt Williams. And then Sammy Sosa beats Frank Thomas 12-10 to advance to the final. And Kevin World Mitchell wins the home run challenge, 12-10 over Sammy Sosa. All right. Let's sim a day to the All-Star game itself. We'll quick play it. The NL wins 3-0. All 3 runs came in the top of the 4th. Let's see if our players did anything. Barry Bonds went 0 for 2. Bonilla goes 0 for 1. On the pitching side, Anthony Young made the All-Star game. We traded Anthony Young to Atlanta for Greg Maddux, and he's going 9 9-4. He went 1-16 in real life in 1993 for the Mets. Wow. Sid Fernandez got a hold, 1 inning of clean work with a strikeout, and Greg Maddux had a clean inning with 2 strikeouts. So the Mets did contribute to that All-Star game win. Let's go back to the standings view, and we'll sim out the rest of the month. Jimmy Key, pitcher of the month. Let's see what that looked like. He had 6 starts, 46 innings, striking out 46. That's a lot for him. He's more of a finesse guy, holding opposition to a 200 average. He went 6-0 with a 1.37 ERA in July. He's 16-2 overall, and he was not chosen to the All-Star game. Snubbed. All right, we're 4.5 games ahead. We cannot seem to get over that 5 games ahead hump with the Phillies, but let's see if we can this next month. We are at 68-36. We are 4 wins ahead of the next closest national teams, which are the Phillies and the Glavinless Braves, partly helped out by Anthony Young. Instead of going 1-16, is already 9-4. Bonilla is now second in the league in home runs, and Bonds is not even in the top 3. So that's a bit of a surprise. Let's see. First place has 39 home runs. Bonilla has 28. How many does Bonds have? Bonds has only 22. Wow. All right. Well, let's sim another month. Here's the month of August coming at you. Oh, we finally got over the 5 games ahead, but we're now back to 3. Back to 5. Back to, okay, to 6. 6.5. All right, we were 5 games ahead at the end of August. Bonds is now finally on the leaderboard with home runs with 34, but everyone's trailing Kevin Will Mitchell. Now he wasn't a free agent, was he? Because that was a big miss if we didn't grab him. He is on Cincinnati, but he was not on the list. I'm pretty sure we would have noticed that at the time. What's his history? Did he sign with the? Oh, I wonder if it wouldn't have that, because it does show in his real life stats that he was on Seattle in '92 in Cincinnati '93, but that could have been a trade. One thing we could do is we can look him up on BREF. Kevin Mitchell. And we can look at his transactions. All right, so there is San Francisco to Seattle to Cincinnati. Transactions. In 19, he was traded by the Mariners to the Reds, so he was not. He's a free agent in '94, not in '92. That's why we didn't have access to him. I'm looking at his BRF here. So yeah, you can see the trade here in '92. It's not a free agency signing. He's not a free agent until '94. Okay, so it's not like we had a chance at him, missed out. We just didn't have a chance at him. But yeah, he is leading the league in home runs. All right, we're now in the home stretch. Actually, Kevin Mitchell is in triple crown position. He's hitting 343, 25 points behind Jeff Blauser, but he's leading the league in home runs and RBI. It's just the batting average. He's still hitting 343 though. He is having a monster season. Let's do a week at a time because this Braves Giants race in the West is interesting too. There's no wild card, so only one of them can advance. 7 extra base hit streak, 7 game extra base hit streak for Barry Bonds. And we are 5.5 games ahead of the Phillies. The Braves have broken it open. They're now 3.5 games ahead of the Giants. Okay, we're 94-49. Uh, the the Phillies are 92-51. No one else has over 90 wins. So the top two teams in the majors are in the NL East. All right, rattling off some wins there to separate from the Phillies. Another streak by Jimmy Key. This time 8 quality starts. He is having a heck of a season. 99-50 now with a little over a week and a half left to play. 6 games now ahead of the Phillies. We're about to hit 100 wins. No one else is close yet, other than the Phillies, who trail us by 6. Uh, Mitchell has fallen off the top 3 in batting average, but still leads the majors in home runs and leads the majors in RBI as well. Holy cow! Eddie Murray, who we traded for Paul Molitor, has 131 RBI for the Blue Jays. Jeez, what is Paul Molitor doing for us? He is hitting 321 with 23 home runs and a 915 OPS. I'll take it. He is doing work. Boggs in limited action, although less limited than normal. The AI is playing him a little bit off the bench. He's hitting 333 with an 848 OPS. That's pretty impressive. 447 on base percentage for Boggs. Bonds is hitting 327 with 37 bombs and a 1034 PS. So Bonds finally catching fire. All right, let's do another week. 30-game on base streak, Speak of the Devil by Paul Molitor. So I was a little jealous of the Eddie Murray season that we traded away, but Molitor reminding us that he's playing super well. Eddie Murray he's only hitting 262, but he has hit 29 home runs and has driven 136, uh, has 126 RBI. Bonds and Bonilla now first and third in OPS. And Jimmy Key third in the league in ERA and tops in wins. Tom Henke tied for the league lead in saves, so that move really paying off. And Jimmy Key leading, is he leading the majors? Yeah, he's leading the majors in pitcher WAR with 7.9. Nice acquisition. All right, let's go to the end of the regular season, I guess. We did hit the projection of 109. We have 1 game left to play. And we exceed the expectation. We win 110 games. We do get the playoff berth. Again, there are no wild cards here, so it's just The East and the West winners advance to the postseason. The Giants actually came back to take over the lead from the Braves. They were at 1.3 games behind the Braves. They come back to win the NL West without Barry Bonds. So that's pretty impressive. Fifth in ERA and second in defensive efficiency. Who is on their pitching staff? Oh, Billy Swift. Sure. Let's look at their Billy Swift. John Burkett goes 15-10. Trevor Wilson goes 14-11. Brian Hickerson goes 12-12, and Solomon Torres on a pitch count goes 11-5. He's a swingman for sure. Only got 7 starts. Who got the other starts? Bud Black got 8 of them. Jeff Brantley had 10, so a couple of swingmen there in the bullpen. But Billy Swift, 19-9, 2.20 ERA. Now, I hope Jimmy Key gets credit in the postseason. He got snubbed at the All-Star break, but he is 12-2 with a 2.46 ERA. But it looks like he might end up battling Billy Swift for that Cy Young award. All right, let's check out the postseason action here. Well, actually, I guess we have to sim past today. All right, yeah, Jimmy Key gets the most pitching wins. Paul Molitor goes 20-20, and we are headed to the playoffs. Well, I was going to do the tree for the wild card, but there is no wild card. I keep forgetting. We go straight to the league championship series. All right, the NL is going to kick off the action. Burkett against Brett Saberhagen. What happened there? Where is our game? I hit quick play. All right, there we go. We lose 6-3. Jeez, 3 runs in the top of the first, 3 more in the top of the 8th. Who gave up the ones in the top of the 8th? Mike Maddox gets rocked. Wow. Paul Molitor went 3 for 4 and a home run in the losing effort. The AL's going to be in action now, too. It's the White Sox against the Red Sox. The Battle of the Sox. That's kind of cool. And in 12 innings, after 11 innings of shutout ball, the Red Sox walk it off 1-0. Holy cow. What a game. Ken Ryan gets the win in extras? Wow, what a game. Jack McDowell and Aaron Seeley both throw 8 innings of shutout ball. The relievers come in, throw 4 more innings of shutout ball before the bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 13th, off of Terry Leach, former Met Terry Leach. Well, let's see if the NL game is that exciting. Geez, the Mets lose again 5-4 this time. Two runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, and then an insurance run in the 8th, which was necessary because the Mets did score in the bottom of the 8th. But the Giants hang on 5-4 to take a 2-0 series lead. The Sayers of Ney are looking pretty good right now. All right, Endel's on the travel lit. Let's see if the Mets can gather themselves here. Battle of the Sox. Boston is leading 1-0. And they win again 10-4. So the Red Sox dominating the White Sox in the battle of the footwear. Tails going to be on a travel day now, and the Mets hoping to cut into this 2-0 series lead that San Francisco's built up. Jimmy Key, major league leader in wins, facing Billy Swift. Geez, the Mets lose again, 2-1. Giants score in the bottom of the eighth to win the game. We are facing elimination already. All right, the AL's back in action. Viola against McCaskill. And the White Sox win 4-3, cut into that lead. Red Sox still lead 2-1. And the Mets facing elimination. Dwight Gooden, who went 19-9, much better than the sub 500 real 1993 that he had. 19-9 with a 2.66 ERA, finding some of his uh, early 80s magic. Takes them out against Brian Hickerson with the Giants. So let's do this. We'll turn off our achievement notifications. Smiley Face Jane helped us learn how to do this. Turn that off so we don't get spoiler notifications. And we'll hide scores. And let's play this game and watch some highlights. Hopefully we don't get eliminated. We're down 3-0 here. Hey, D-Block, we are playing a game where you can add any 7 free agents from the previous offseason to your team. And we took the 93 Mets and added 7 free agents from the 1992 free agent pool. But we're facing elimination in the NLCS after winning a major league leading 110 wins. We are about to get swept by the Giants. Even though we took Barry Bonds in the offseason, prevented the Giants from getting him. Ground ball up the middle. That might score a run. Oh, it gets past the center field. We have Dave Gallagher in there because he's an 80 center fielder and he makes an error. All right, the Giants are up 1-0, threatening again in the bottom of the third. 1 out, 1-2 count. 2 runners on for Robbie Thompson. Ground ball to short. Thrown to second. Over to first for the double play. Now, Bogart is in there because he's an 80 shortstop and he comes through. Oh, no. I forgot the AI is starting Tony Fernandez. Bogart made the turn as an 82nd baseman. Pure disappointment in my blood. All right, top of the fifth now. Charlie O'Brien with Dave Gallagher on first, facing Brian Hickerson. 1 out, 2-1 count. Line drive up the middle, past the second baseman. Runner had to hold up though, so it'll probably be first and second. 1 out now. 1-0 count for Tim Bogart, who is in there for his glove. Line drive, though, in the right field. That's going to be into the corner. Extra bases. Might score a run. Maybe 2. And the defensive specialist drives in 2, giving the Mets the lead. Bogart's on third now. 1 out for Joe Orsulak. Line drive up the middle, over the center fielder's head, towards the wall. Orsulak into second, easily for the double. Another run scores. Bottom of the fifth now. Giants trailing 3-1. Vince Coleman, who the Giants signed instead of Barry Bonds, away from the Mets. Yeah, isn't it crazy, D-Block? I'm at episode 177. I started. When did I start, in the spring? I had this time last year. I haven't even played Perfect Team yet. I didn't even know. I didn't even have a Twitch account yet. Oh my goodness! Did Vince Coleman just hit a bomb? No way. Vince Coleman goes yard against us after we gave him up to get Barry Bonds. He has a 30 power and he went yard. All right, that cuts the lead to 3-2. The Giants up again. I don't like that Frank Tanana with his 45 home run suppression is on the mound, but Robbie Thompson leading off 3-1 count. And I guess that's a walk. That's the one thing Tanana's supposed to have going for him is control. That brings up Matt Williams. Again, I don't like these matchups. Giants have power hitters, and Frank Tanana has poor home run suppression. That gets him swinging. He doesn't have stuff, but he gets him swinging. That brings up Will Clark. At least it's lefty lefty. 1 out, 1-2 count. He goes down on strikes. Tanana with his 45 stuff versus lefties comes through. All right, bottom of the seventh now. San Francisco still trailing 3-1. Sid Fernandez is now in and out of the bullpen. One of the things our starting pitching acquisition allowed us to do is move Fernandez into the pen, where he's probably a little better suited given his stuff and control. Good stuff, low control, I mean. Fly ball to left field. That'll be squeezed for the out. And ends the inning. Top of the eighth now, looking for an insurance run. Paul Molitor leading things off. He was acquired instead of going to the Blue Jays. Ground ball down the line. It's past the third baseman into the corner. Probably extra bases. And Mahler's in a second with the leadoff double. Representative Tony Fernandez. So D Block had started, was not a Twitch affiliate yet. It was Tootie Herbie, Kava, Tedio, Ludlud, and Fred the Baker who watched you. That's awesome, man. I don't see Fred the Baker around. Is he still around? I haven't seen Fred the Baker in a long time, I feel like. Tony Fernandez grounds it up the middle. Shortstop knocks it down, but can't hold on to it. First and third now for the Mets, looking for an insurance run. Bobby Bonilla up at bat now. He's playing third base. Yep. Okay. He's the one preventing Boggs from playing, even though we signed Boggs. Draws the walk, loads the bases. You see him teams, but not on Twitch. Okay. Well, I'm glad he's still around then. All right, Jeremy Burnitz, who's the reason Boggs is not playing. We thought he'd go Bonilla in right field, Boggs at third, but the AI is starting Burnitz in right field and Bonilla at third, and Boggs is coming off the bench. So 1 out here, looking for that insurance run. Jeremy Burnitz against Solomon Torres. Infield is in. Fly ball to center field. Is it deep enough to score the runner? Well, it is Molitor. He is fast, and he scores without a throw. That could be a big insurance run because we have Tom Henke in to close it out. D-Block started streaming because of the Alphabet teams, and he started teaming with. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I didn't realize that was the genesis of it. That's cool. All right, Henke against Matt Williams. 1-2 count. Goes down swinging. This is why we got him. Against Will Clark now. Ground ball to first. Down the line. Into the corner. That'll be extra bases. Will Clark in with a double. 1-out double. Tying run now comes up to bat. Todd Benson, the left fielder. Fly ball to right field. Caught. Does it advance Will Clark? It does not. 2 outs now for Jeff Reed. He is a tying run at the plate. Let's survive. Tom Henke gets him swinging. Or did he get him? What is going on? Oh, there it is. Yep, he did get him swinging. At least we forced game 5. We do not get swept. The best record in the majors does not get swept. At least we fight another day. All right. Let's see. In the Battle of the Sox, the Red Sox are beating the White Sox 2-1. And the Red Sox win to take a 3-1 series lead. And we have the same 3-1 series lead here in the NL series. Saberhagen against Burkett. I'm going to do highlights for all these elimination games. If we reverse sweep, that's a lot of highlights, but all right, here we go. Bottom of the first. Giants are threatening already. Darren Lewis on first. Matt Williams up at bat. 2 outs, 1-2 count. Line drive in left field. It's going to drop in. Looks like it will score the runner. The Giants pull ahead 1-0. New York now up in the top of the third. Defensive specialist Tim Bogar up at bat. 1 out, 2-2 count. And I don't know what happened because it froze again. It's still frozen. Oh my goodness. Tim Bogar goes yard with his 40 power and his defensive specialism. All right, ties it up. At bottom of the third, Giants are threatening again. First and second for Robbie Thompson. 2 outs, 1-1 count. Oh, that's a deep fly ball to center field. That might be gone, and it is gone. 3-run shot. The AI is taking us all the way to the top of the seventh. Mets trailing 5-1. Benny on first, Burnett's up at bat. Fly ball to left center field. That's deep. That's gone. It cuts to lead 1. Back in business. Oh no, cuts it to 2. I forgot they scored when the AI jumped ahead. So we're still down 2. Bottom of the seventh now. Giants up with 1 out. Vince Coleman on first. Darren Lewis up at bat. Line drive into right field. That's into the corner. That'll be extra bases. It should score Coleman, who's super fast. And in fact, Robbie Thompson's in the or Darren Lewis is in the third with a triple. All right, they score 3 in the bottom of the seventh, and they're up again in the bottom of the eighth. Not looking good for the Mets. Fly ball to left field. That is gone. What's that? Royce Clayton? Pinch hitting. Goes yard. All right. This is never good when the AI jumps ahead to the end of the last inning and 2 outs for the trailing team. That's usually a sign that the game is over. We've got Bonds on second. Gallagher up at bat. Gallagher's another defensive specialist. So we're not expecting a ton from his bat. Ground ball to second. And that's the end of the game and the end of the series and the end of the season for the Mets. So the 59 win 1993 Mets projected to win 109 with all the changes, win 110, but get knocked out in the playoffs in true OOTP fashion. All right, well, let's just go to playoff tree for the playoff coverage. So the Red Sox advance after beating the White Sox 4-2 to meet the Giants in the World Series. And the Giants sweep. So at least we put up a better fight than the Red Sox did. We did win 1 game. Amazing that the Giants, without Barry Bonds, who we snagged in the offseason as part of the shopping spree, 7 free agents, they still win the World Series without Bonds. That's impressive. All right, we have some postseason awards we have to go to finish the pack giveaway. So let's do that. Let's get a shot of the standings. Only two teams won 100 games. They're both in the NL East, and we didn't make it out of the first round. D-Block says bet was I make a team fresh and get to Diamond League without buying points or PT Plus till Christmas, 8 weeks. Made it with 2 teams, Fred did make it in 9 weeks. Reason for the bet was Calva said only pay to win could make it to diamond. That's funny. That's awesome. That's great that you guys did so well. All right, let's see. Let's go to the mailbox for the awards. Let's save the season now that the playoffs are done. Also, without combinators, that's probably more possible, right? To do a fresh team like that and make it to the diamond that fast. Although it seems like I don't see as many combis in league play as I do in tournaments. All right, let's see here. All right, we're in the mailbox, which is where we want to be for these Great Glove Awards. We have a couple candidates. Our center fielder and our second baseman are really good fielders. Oh, Greg Maddox, pitcher. Yeah, he's a perennial Gold Glover. And Dave Gallagher, our 80 center fielder, does win a Gold Glove. So he only hit 250, but he did pitch in 18 home runs and he played Gold Glove center field. So that's why he was on the team. That's why we didn't grab like a Kirby Puckett, even though he was a free agent. All right, next up is reliever of the year. Now, we did acquire Tom Hankey. We kept Texas from getting him. And Tom Hankey went 5-3 with 43 saves. But the 3.84 ERA will probably keep him from winning the reliever of the year. The AI almost always goes for high save, super low ERA pitchers for that award. Wetland gets reliever of the year. Uh, yeah, actually, not even in the top six is Hankey. That ERA, I'm sure, had a lot to do with it. Oh, right, D block. So it's not that they're combinators in league play, but it's the combinators in the tournaments that prevent you from getting the prizes that help you win. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. All right, let's see what's up next is Platinum Stick Award. Hopefully we get a few of these, maybe three. Paul Molitor at first base. All right, 325, 26 home runs, 20 stolen bases. He was one of our acquisitions. Bobby Bonilla, who was already here, hits 287 with 42 bombs to win it at third base. He was playing right field, though, so maybe there wasn't as much competition at third. Barry Bonds, our acquisition part of the game, wins it in left field. He had 337 with 40 home runs, 12 steals, 122 runs, and 129 RBI. And that's it. 3 Silver Slugger awards for the Mets. All right, what's next? Is the Rookie of the Year. I don't think we have any candidates for that, but we'll see who wins it anyway. Oh, yeah. Kevin Stocker won it last time, too. This is our second 1993 sim. All right. Next up is a Cy Young Award. Now, I think Jimmy Key, who got snubbed for the All Star game, is our best bet here. He is 22-2 with a 2.46 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP. Outdoing Greg Maddox, who was 20-7 with a 2.71 ERA and a 1.09 WHIP. All right, let's see what happens here. Now, the AI does strikeouts for these awards, though, so that might prevent Key from winning it. Jimmy Key does win at 15 first place votes versus Billy Swift's 13 first place votes. Wins it by 5 points. This is probably the closest Cy Young race we've ever seen in our Sims. 5 votes separate the, not 5 vote points separate the two pitchers. But yeah, 22-2 does carry the day. All right, next up is the MVP. I mean, our best candidate is probably Bonds or Bonilla, which is funny because they're both former Pirates, both former NL East nemesis of the Mets. Bonds with 40 home runs, 337 average, 1065 OPS. Bonilla with 42 home runs, 287 average, 958 OPS. So of the two, I think Bonds had the superior season. But let's see if it's enough to win an MVP. All right, let's see who it is. Bonds. So we don't win the World Series, but we do sweep the Cy Young and MVP awards. He gets all 28 first place votes. Man, I only wish we could have gone the World Series because we had a couple people say, "Oh, actually, I think no one had them winning the World Series." So okay, well let's go to the pack giveaway form and find out for sure, so I can stop guessing. And let's put some names to those guesses too. I think we have a couple of guesses, maybe even a few, who nailed it, saying we would not get to the World Series, but would produce a Cy Young Award and an MVP award. I'm going to unhide the Twitch username so we can see who's who. Hang on, I'm just organizing the spreadsheet here before I put it up on the screen. All right, let's put. All right, again, 7 contestants, one of the highest totals we've had in a while. We've hit 10 or 11 in our late night stream, and we've definitely hit 11 in our daytime streams when I do a rare daytime stream. All right. Everyone guessed that we would make it to the World Series, so that's good. And I'm not going to filter because I want to see everyone's numerical guesses. Will he make it to the playoffs? No. So Whalen, Panic Bomb, Flying WV, Kayaking Santa, and Real Teddy O advance. And will it make it to the World Series? No. So of course they said no. Will his parent team win the Cy Young? Only two of them said yes. Now, Claydog said yes, but also had us in the World Series. So that first, the NLCS loss cost Claydog there because he had that right about the Cy Young Award. Will he win an MVP? They both guess yes. So Whalen and Fine W both advancing. Guaranteed to win packs, but who will win 7 and who will win 3? The next question is how many regular season games will this team win? They won 110, exceeding even the projections. So let's see. 110 was the answer. Whaley came closest with 98. Now, normally we go to the next question to break into more ties, but that's it because Flying W was the only other person who got this far. So Flying W wins second place. Now let's go through the rest of it because Clay actually had the closest answer there with 101 and also had the yeses here for Cy and MVP. So if Claydog had been more pessimistic and said this team would not make the playoffs, Claydog would have been the one in first place here. Unfortunately, he had a little too much faith in the Mets, and the Mets are going to Met. I feel bad that the Mets, even in the simulation ineptitude, kept Claydog from winning plaques there because he was right there with the guesses. All right, we're going to look at the other guesses just to see how well people did. This is one of my favorite parts of the stream is when we go back and look at these. Okay, the next question was, What will be the highest WAR generated by anyone on this team? All right, we'll go with pitchers first. They usually have the lower WAR. Man, we're finishing up just in time because my system's getting super laggy. My new computer did ship. I just got a notification that my new computer shipped. So 8.1 WAR, pretty good pitcher WAR here by Jimmy Key. And the Nolan Network, who suggested the Black Friday sale to me, did say that with the specs, it should be plenty of horsepower for me to do OOTP and streaming OOTP. So hopefully, a lot of these lagging issues will go away. My laptop does not have the ability to increase the memory, so I'm kind of stuck with this for now until I get my new PC. So Barry Bonds 7.9 WAR on the batter side. Actually loses out to Jimmy Key with 8.1. It's very rare we see that where the pitcher has a higher WAR, but 8.1 is the answer. Rio Whalen was 0.3 away. Santa was 0.4 away. So Rio Whalen, even if they had tied, would have won in the next question. Good guess there. All right, next question is the regular season batting average of the player who leads his team in batting average. All right, batting average with at least 300 plate appearances. Wade Boggs did not have 300 plate appearances, but Barry Bonds did. But they both hit 337, so 337 would be the answer no matter what. And closest there is Flying WV with 329 is 0.08 away, and Claydog was 0.11 away. So yeah, 0.011 away. So Flying WV closest there. It's our two winners getting the guesses right. Look at that. Whalen and Flying WV. All right, the next question was what was the best ERA, minimum 100 innings pitched? Best ERA, 100 innings pitched. That's Jimmy Key, 2.46. Flying WV is 0.1 away. Oh, Clay Dog, 0.07 away. And final question was what is the regular season OPS of the player with the highest OPS? Minimum 300 plate appearances. 1055 from Barry Bonds. 1055. 0.101 away is Clay Dog. 965. Yeah, that Whalen's closer. So that's Whalen. Whalen, what a job on the guessing and the questions. I like it when the first and second place players also get a bunch of the other guesses right because it kind of like reinforces that they deserve to win there. So congratulations. I will be letting Nicolino know, but they might not go out till Monday. So please be patient. You will get your packs. 7 Real Whalen and 3 to Flying WV pack. They're good jobs guessing. All right. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you had fun. I had a really good time researching the free agents, the 1992 free agent pool. Um, Appreciated Real Teddy O being super active in that part of the chat while we were trying to figure out who to grab. Oh, Clay Dog was lurking. Awesome. Yeah, Clay Dog, you had good guesses too. I'm just sorry that the Mets couldn't make it to the World Series for you to put your guesses into the mix. But I always like these streams that get you kind of immersed in these other seasons. And I am hoping that it came up earlier in the chat. So, but Jeff the Jar is thinking about doing I think either Force for Trades or oh, actually no, he wanted to stick it to the Perfecto. So I think he wanted to do Major League Farm Team to grab a bunch of players from that team. So I'm hoping he uses that point redemption for that. Yes, Claire. Now you know what it's like to be a Mets fan. Exactly. It's always disappointing. And I don't know if you guys can hear me now because my Twitch screen went out. The disappointing self-loathing for trusting in them when you knew better. Yes, that's exactly what it's like to be a Mets fan. Correct. All right. Well, appreciate y'all being here. Minerva, thank you for the raid in. And let's find you all somewhere fun to go as soon as my Twitch screen comes back online. Look around to see who is streaming. And again, oh, Kaki said, thank you for being here. I'm happy to stream. My new computer has shipped, so a lot of these issues that we normally have with my insufficiently powered laptop will go away. ETA is supposed to be mid-December. I think it's a good sign that I shipped those because it's actually they gave me a range. So if it already shipped, maybe it'll get here in the early part of that range. Okay, here's who's streaming. D Block, are you streaming soon? Because I could raid into you if you're going to stream soon. Midnight Sumo is doing a replay of sumo tournament. Let's see. We got a couple of art streamers that Ophius rated us into before. Sunday's your off day. Got it. Got it. Want to respect your off day for sure. I was hoping Eddie Melodies would be on. She's my favorite music streamer, but she's not on. Ah, and my Twitch screen just went away again. Okay, I'm having such a hard time with Twitch. I may just actually shut down the stream because I don't know if it's gonna stay up long enough for me to raid. Yeah, my system's getting super laggy. Apologies for that. I'm going to try to raid this to Midnight Sumo. I don't know if it's actually going to work. Yeah, D-Block, I've been even thinking, I have one day off. I don't stream on Wednesdays. I'm actually thinking, like, maybe it'd be good to have 2 days off. Like, I love streaming and I love playing the game, but it makes it such a late night for me. Um, because I still have to do my drafts and stuff after streaming. Okay. I don't know that it's gonna let me do anything here. So I'm gonna try to raid y'all into Midnight Sumo. They do English commentary on Japanese sumo tournaments. It is a replay, but it is kind of fun to watch. And I did raid after Japan last night, so See if it'll let me raid Midnight Sumo. My system is so messed up right now. I don't know if this will work. In a pinch, I could try to do it from my phone. I'm gonna do the raid from my phone. See if that'll work. All right, let me see if I can do this from my phone. Raid. I've never tried this before. Is it working? I can't tell. Oh yeah, it looks like it's working. All right. So just another week or two of this of my computer falling out of action mid at the end of the stream. At least it's making it to the end of streams these days. I've figured out how to make it kind of stretch its effectiveness as much as I can. Let me see if closing that beer. Okay. Uh, yeah, it's like it's working, but I'm not able to hit the button to trigger it. So we're just having to wait for it to time out. Will it? Yes.